We are live.
I will now call to order the City of Brantford Special Council meeting. Please remember to mute your phones or computers when not speaking to avoid echo or feedback. Clerk, can you please confirm that the roll has been taken?
Through the chair, the roll has been taken.
Members of council, are there any pecuniary interests to declare on items appearing on today's agenda? Seeing none. Okay. Items for consideration. Members of council, there is one item for consideration on our agenda today prior to going to a closed session. Councillor Sless, can you please move the committee report and state your seconder?
Certainly try. It's moved by myself, seconded by my ward mate, Councillor Caputo. The staff report 2023-349 new sports and entertainment facility feasibility study, non-competitive procurement be received, and the council approved the non-competitive procurement for the feasibility study of a new sports and entertainment facility with KKR Advisors Limited pursuant to section 4-02E of the purchasing policy to an upset limit of $200,000, and that the general manager of Public Works Commission and manager of purchasing be authorized to execute an agreement with KKR Advisors Limited and any amendments thereto related to the feasibility study of a new sports and entertainment facility.
Thank you, Councillor Sless. Is there any discussion? Councillor Carpenter?
Thank you. Could staff speak to this issue of why we only have one bidder? Thank you.
Brian Hutchings, CEO. Councillor, as you know, back in December when we started negotiations with the Bulldogs, I went out and met with about 2 or 3 different vendors. Obviously, we chose KKR, who had lots of experience, and it was under $25,000. So it was in my spending purview. On February 7th, we did seek council direction to actually fund some of those costs, including the legal costs. Which after we did the arrangement on February 7th, we spent 6 weeks negotiating the deal with the Bulldogs. Since that time, council has passed a resolution to pursue doing a 5,000 or plus seated arena or an entertainment center and pursuing this. In our review of the markets, we didn't go out, so we don't have the time if this is going to be delivered by December. In our review of the markets is KKR is, you can see in the presentation in the reports, has highly extensive experience in this throughout Canada, has done a number of these deals and are by far the leader in the field of doing this. So we're in essence of time as well as expertise. We brought this directly forward to Special City Council to have approved.
Just speaking to it then, is the hurry the timelines that we put on the resolution? Like there's not a rush to know when we're going to have a new facility. This isn't a facility or discussion that we're having with the Bulldogs. This is for our new facility, is it not?
This will be Council, this will be a new facility, but it won't just be a facility. It's also be looking at how we maximize the value of our whatever lands we put on it, if they're city lands or others' lands. And most of these are done as you see in Ottawa or in Sudbury now, just recently, which KKR has experience in, as well as St. John. Most of these are done in conjunction with private sector developers, as well as a co-partnership, as well as the city and also the ownership of the whatever team may be coming in here. So it's a bit of a complicated transaction, and to try to lessen the burden on the local taxpayer.
So the ability to only have one bidder is because of the timelines set for December 31st, 2023 of this year. Would that be correct?
2 reasons, Councillor. Yes, that's correct. And then number 2 is the expertise that when we originally did the search in December, we found that there is really one organization that has this expertise in Canada.
Only one that can build facilities. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion?
I missed that. So the councillor asked me a question. What was the comment?
No, I just clarifying that you said only one could build the facility in the country.
Sorry, Councillor, it's not building a facility. It's doing the business case around what the facility will look like, but also the partnerships with the private sector, like, so local restaurants, as well as local ownership groups in Canada that own sports facilities, and as well as local owners that own sports organizations. It's not
And you
just
said-
a building.
Yeah, so, and only one has that expertise, I think what you said. Thank you. Is that correct? I just don't want to put words in your mouth.
That is that in my search in December, this is foremost the leader in this area. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Councillor Caputo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A few of the arenas that this group has been a part of, I actually lived in those cities, and they're actually phenomenal facilities. And to just reiterate what CEO Hutchings said, making use of this and doing it in the proper fashion, we get one kick at the cat at this. And to be able to do it in a fashion that's going to be able to not just give us an arena, but an entire entertainment district sector is going to be a huge opportunity for us. And the only group that I've ever been around or know of when it comes to this is actually a group out of the United States that is very heavily involved with the Hamilton team right now. The city of Hamilton looking at their facility, but they're more geared towards an NHL and spending hundreds of millions to $1 billion in getting this type of facility in place. So I certainly think that this is actually a wise move. Thank you.
Councillor McCurry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to our staff, Mr. Hutchings, I wonder if you could maybe give us a snapshot of what the areas of work will be that these guys will be doing for us.
Yes, they will be meeting with you as council, number one, to first of all, look at locations throughout the city and have that direction from council as what locations would might fit the purpose. Once that location is, decided upon, or at least narrowed down, they will then working with various partners to develop a schematic for the building, what it will look like with architects, but also working with business sector like banks, large banks, corporate people like that to see for naming rights, but also for people who want to be involved. As I said, some big private sector developers may want to be involved in this and also build along with the arena. So first of all, siting. Second of all, finding partnerships in the community and corporate sponsorships, as you can see the examples. And third of all, putting all the numbers together in a business case from ownership groups that may own teams. We may put some money into the building and the entertainment complex, but also from the corporate sector that may be building and also leveraging some of those lands from us.
So I guess what we can expect is that these folks will be engaging other companies and consultants to take on portions of this work for them. So they'll be engaging an architect that'll produce something in the way of a visual. Is that right?
Yes, not just a visual, Councilor McCreary, if I can. It will be also some drawings that will look like what can seats. There'll be some amenities like some of these other arenas you see and the examples in the appendices, but have other facilities adjoining to them and how they fit into the local city. But yes, it'll be also sub work from business people like financing, but also architecture. And there is one firm they mainly use, which is highly known in Canada, the architecture firm for designing such facilities.
Yeah, and if I recall, there aren't a lot of architecture companies that do arenas like this in our country, right?
There's one or two in particular that is it, Councilor.
Yeah. Okay, so what we get out of this at year end then is going to be a proposition for us to consider, and the question will be yes or no, right?
That's the what the motion says, and that's what we're looking to put together, and that's what other cities have been presented with as well. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the previous speaker has reminded us that this came about because of a resolution which I think was unanimously supported at council some time ago. I don't know. Could you give some indication, Mr. Hutchings, of how long it would take us to do this if we didn't go to these folks, and what we could expect coming out the other end? Would you think we'd get as good a question to consider?
This would take probably at least about 3 to 4 months through a request for proposal process and then evaluation process, which would take us into probably September, October timeframe. And then after that, so the consultant would start their work, which we don't know, whatever consultant, however the grading system does, and if they're of this level. But it would take another, as KKR is telling us, this will take 6 months to do it, at least 6 months. So that's why we're trying to get this moving along to do this for the December/January timeframe.
And the RFP process would be firstly weighted in terms of the ability of the consultant to perform the work, right? As we define it.
Yes, it would be. Plus, allowance for price as well.
The price would be the second envelope, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, doke. Thank you very much.
Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that the expertise that this individual and his company will bring will end up with partnerships and sponsorships that will return more than what it's going to cost us to hire him. So this is a very good investment for the city, in my opinion, and I think it should be supported unanimously, just like the motion to bring the Bulldogs here was unanimous vote. So I look forward to that happening with this issue, because this is by and far the only individual that has all the competencies and contacts from what I've seen in the information that's been presented so far. So I'll definitely be supporting this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I will now chime to this myself. The area of expertise is without question. I think the bigger factor is here is we've been given a little bit of a gift horse when we are referring to the Bulldogs themselves, with Hamilton deciding not to tear down the arena till after the Grey Cup. So if we want to actually look at keeping the Bulldogs and not looking to another venture, we need to do this properly. In order to do it properly, we need to make use of the time that we've been granted. That's it. Any further discussion? Councillor McCreary.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to request a recorded vote, please.
Yep, it will be. It will be on eScribe. Okay, call the vote.
Item 3.1 carries unanimously on recorded votes. Members of council voting in favor are as follows: Councillors Sless, McCreary, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Martin, Caputo, and Sullivan.
Thank you. There are no resolutions, no notices of motion. Now we get to the bylaws. I believe Councillor Hunt, can you please move the motion for the first and second reading and confirming the bylaw?
Moved by myself, seconded by my ward mate, Councillor Carpenter, that leave be given to the mover and seconder to introduce the following bylaw for first and second reading. 94-2023 bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Corporation of City of Brantford with respect to the special meeting held on May the 9th, 2023.
Okay, now call the vote on the first and second reading.
The first and second reading of bylaw 94-2023 carries unanimously on recorded vote. Members of council voting in favor are as follows: Councillors Sless, McCreary, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Martin, Caputo, and Sullivan.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the third reading. Councillor Martin, can you please read the resolution for the third and final reading of the bylaws and state your seconder?
Yes, I move, seconded by Councillor McCreary, that bylaw 94-2023, having received first and second reading, be taken as read a third time and be finally passed and signed by the mayor and clerk.
Can you call the vote on the third reading?
The third and final reading of bylaw 94 carries unanimously on recorded votes. Members of council voting in favor are as follows: Councillors Sless, McCreary, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Martin, Caputo, and Sullivan.
Thank you. Councillor McCreary, I understand you are the mover of the motion to move in camera. Can you please read the motion?
Mr. Chair, yes, Councillor Martin is the seconder. And I move that we go in camera to consider the following 7.1 development charges, litigation or potential litigation, administrative tribunals affecting the municipality, advice subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications. 7.2 extension on offer to purchase from Brant Haldeman, Norfolk Catholic District School Board, that's a mouthful, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land. 7.3, an unsolicited offer. Oh, shoot. Sorry, give me just a second here. An unsolicited offer to purchase 100-102 Wellington Street, proposed or pending acquisition of or disposition of land, advice subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications. 7.4, corporate org realignment, personal matters about identified individuals, including local or municipal board employees, labor relations, employee negotiations. 7.5, the Human Resources Committee, private and confidential IT restructure, corporate information, personal matters about identifiable individual, labor relations or employee negotiations.
Thank you. We can call the vote.
My screen is down. I'm a yes.
The motion to move in camera carries unanimously on recorded votes. Members of council voting in favor are as follows: Councilors Sless, McCreary, Carpenter, Van Tilburg, Samuel, Hunt, Martin, Caputo, and Sullivan.
Thank you. We'll see you in camera in about 5 minutes.